Well, we have a question from Brother Ahmadulanat. He says, "Hello, Sheij. How are you? Do you want to ask a question? Vos means you in Argentine Spanish. Vos sos means you are. Do you believe in people who are declared dead and come back to life telling what they experienced? Everyone talks about the same things that grow. Fact. Shall we look at the first question? What is the definition of death? Today's medicine defines and determines certain symptoms, or let's say signs, such as vital signs. When vital signs are said to have ceased in a body, that body is referred to as the body of a dead person. Already, for example, they say the heart beats, the brain functions, the blood flows. That person is called alive. When the heart stops beating and the blood stops flowing, they call that person dead. But our experience has shown that people declared dead by science, by today's medicine, many of those people returned to have a beating heart. Can we accept that these people have been dead and then come back to life or not? An example. Among animals, such as frogs, is very well known. There are many types of frogs that, when they are about to be frozen in winter, lose all vital signs. The heart no longer beats. There is no blood circulation, nothing. But later, when that frog is going to thaw in the spring, it returns to normal life. I want to conclude that part. We cannot religiously agree with the determination of death, with the definition of death from today's science. I say, well, it is true that everyone who dies, the first step is that they lose the signs that you mentioned, vital signs. But to become dead, there may be more steps that you have discovered, losing vital signs. But necessarily that body, with a decayed body that is in the grave, has many steps of difference. For example, I am not a scientist, but I am saying this. There are many cells that are still alive. Many cells in that body that are still alive. So, perhaps that cannot be called dead. So that person who lost vital signs and then suddenly regained vital signs cannot be called dead. This, in the first step, already means that not all scientific findings are perfectly correct or consistent with reality. It could be, and necessarily, we are going to explain this religiously. There are necessarily more steps until death. It means losing vital signs. I would call them the doorway to approaching death. It is not death. There are more steps towards death. Now, this part we hope that science will discover someday, but I will explain it to you religiously. In Islamic translation, we have the understanding that when a person loses vital signs, they are still alive. And there are many stories of such people coming back. But the spirit will gradually separate from the body. What does that mean? Once the body has lost what is currently referred to as vital signs, which we have said indicates a distance from death. According to Islamic translation, the body is aware and the person can hear. You will see that person with closed eyes, the heart not beating, the body has turned pale. It is like the body, intact, white. But we say that this one hears through that ear. Yes, it hears. This means that Islam recognizes the connection between the body and the spirit. It means that they have not been completely separated. Tawafi means that the spirit in essence completely separates from the body. In translation, we still say the body. The spirit has not yet completely separated, even though there are no vital signs. What does it mean? For example, the person you say is dead. If they have no signs, they are not breathing, no heartbeat, nothing. Islam says do not place anything heavy on your chest. Why? It says it gets upset. It gets upset. If you are going to hit the body, you say it is a corpse, it feels nothing. We say this causes suffering to the corpse, to the spirit, because the spirit is still pending. It is recommended for the recently deceased person, according to us, to recite the Quran because it is said that it is heard and their spirit is there, listening. Even in Judaism, in Kabbalah, when we were learning Kabbalah with a Jewish teacher, he taught us this. He said that the soul wanders around the grave for up to 6 months. Islam does not say this, but I had heard it in Judaism. However, Islam states that for certain days, after what is currently defined as natural death, the spirit is still pending. But how is that dependency? God knows that for about 6 or 8 hours, the spirit is still inside. It has not yet left the body. Since the spirit is inside, it can be pulled back again. You can pull it out again. So this is the person who has gone and come back. In the case of fainting or in the case of a person who is in a coma, it is another matter. This is the first step. So first we are going to address whether these supposed dead individuals are actually dead according to today's medical science, not dead in the way we define it, where the spirit has completely separated. That is the first step. In the second step, how and when can a person have visions of the beyond? Real visions of the beyond, when it is necessary to know many times about people, the experience they have does not belong to the world of angels. There is an intermediary world of the yen, of demons, of the yen. Sometimes the spirit does not rise high enough to reach the world of angels, to see what is on the throne of God, the angels. Does that only remain in nightmares? In the world of demons? Or does it only stay within the body with the imaginations? It means mental images. So, there are 3 levels. Mental images mean that the spirit has not separated much from the body. So, many times that can be mental images of the person, who then wakes up and I have seen things, and all of them are within their imagination, as today's psychology also states. It may be that this person has separated from the body, but has not gone very far. They are in the material world, wandering in the material world. That is the second level. The third level, which goes beyond the material world, to the threshold of the beyond, means it is between the material world and the beyond. There they are where the demons, the yen, the world of the yen, the world of some spirits. So there it is. You may see nightmares or things there, but they are not much of the reality beyond. 1,000 and can have the third level, which is the vision of the beyond, which is the real world, the world of angels. There one can see the future, can see the past, can see real things. A person who is in sleep. Here you are alive. You sleep in sleep. Your spirit reaches into the life beyond. And the Holy Quran. We separate the spirit from the body every time you sleep. So, just like these people whom you call people with near-death experiences, a person who is sleeping can have these experiences. But all those experiences have all those levels. Imaginations happening in the material world, reaching the limit where nightmares and the real world converge. But what are they? That has many details. So, that person who is sleeping can transition to one of the four levels, to one of the four. How to discern between them? That requires divine wisdom, which I do not have. There are certain signs of that, but the time that has visited this, all of that, has details. If it coincides with the Holy Quran or is against it, there we can discern whether what you saw was real or false. So, regarding people in a coma, or people who, according to medical science, are declared dead, but in reality were not dead and came back. All of this can also be discussed. But how can we know what they say? Is it true? Is it a real experience? Is it 1,000 of the real world? Or is it a nightmare or just imagination? There is no way to know. So when there is no way to tell if they are saying what they say, it is a lie. And many people are imposters to attract everyone's attention. For example, this person has had a problem like that. When he wakes up, he starts to invent things to attract the public's attention, just like those people, many of whom were impostors, lied to bring people in. Look, yesterday I dreamed of Jesus, and he told me that you are special. Well, I myself was once in Caracas. I went to a Pentecostal church. There was a fat pastor who approached me when he saw me and thought I was one of those crazy people. Last night I dreamed of Jesus, and he said that you are coming to visit me. I said that for a week now. Every day I am dreaming that Jesus says you are a false shepherd, and it stays that way. Well, about that lie, you can make a bigger lie. So we cannot trust these experiences, that much we can say, because it is not known if these people look, because there is no way to verify if what he is saying is something he has just invented, or if he is actually explaining his experience, or if it is a legend, a novel he has created. How many novelists have written novels about the afterlife? What's it called? Dante's Hell. There are many books, perhaps, or so. So when there is no way to discern, to verify whether what these people are saying is true, made up, or false, or let's assume that all these people are truthful, which they are not. Not all are truthful, but let's assume that they are all truthful in what they are recounting about the spiritual experience. But what kind of experience have they had? Imaginations. Because a person in their imagination thinks many things. Also, hallucinations, as drug addicts experience. A drug addict's spirit never goes beyond, but they will have many hallucinations. With drugs, it's all within the mind. Is it a side effect of consuming chemical substances? Nicotine? I don't know what. This hormone is another one that is in drugs. Do you see? That is spiritual experience. How some indigenous people in the Amazon jungle used drugs and spoke of shamanism and began to do things. Do you consider that a spiritual experience? So, are all drug addicts the mystics, prophets of God? Well, with that we will conclude, as there is no way to verify the truthfulness of these stories. We do not pay attention to any fact anymore. Period. Congratulations and blessings to everyone.